Extreme heat warnings remain in effect across a significant portion of the United States, from Midland, Texas to Nashville, Tennessee, affecting over 100 million people. We are in extreme times. It has already claimed lives, and this is a tragedy today, but also a look ahead to the world that we are building. Not me necessarily, not you necessarily. Unfortunately, we're not in control. But those with control, particularly political control, economic control, they are creating this where these heat domes, that's basically what is affecting the southern United States as well as Mexico right now, gonna become more and more common. Projected heat indexes of up to 120 degrees in Dallas, New Orleans, Baton Rouge. And like I said, people have died already. In fact, just I believe yesterday, it was reported that a teen and his stepfather died on a hike in Texas because of the record heat. That is unbelievable, devastating. Now look, people die from the heat every year. That's definitely true, but it is getting worse. Emergency rooms are filling up from people being affected by this. And I will remind you of a recent piece of news, also in Texas, that was just as we launch into this heat dome, this fatal, lethal heat dome, that's when Governor Abbott, Greg Abbott of Texas, ended local rules, or basically allowed for the ending of local rules requiring water breaks for workers. So if and when workers literally drop dead in the streets, Republicans of Texas have already given support to it. And I want to run you through how bad it is in some areas. Way back on Saturday, temperatures already were exceeding 100 degrees in Austin, San Antonio, Houston was just under 100 degrees at that point. San Angelo in West Texas registered 114 degrees twice in June. That's the highest ever recorded there. The border town of Del Rio hit 115 degrees. The Big Bend area of Southwest Texas reached 119 degrees, just 1 degree off of their all-time high of 120 recorded back in 1994. And while this is going on, Texas obviously is recording records for energy use. There is, thankfully, sort of a savior in this time where they need energy more than ever before. And it's about as ironic a savior as possible. We will talk about that in just a minute. But yeah, as you're in Texas right now, how bad is it? Are you on fire?
It is actually pretty bad. So I was in the UK for a few weeks, and that's when all of this heat wave was really starting up. And when I got home at the airport, it was like 7 p.m. and it was already like 90 something degrees. So it is pretty hot. And also people have to keep in mind, this is only June. It's gonna get hotter the rest of the year. Usually our really hot months are like July, August, but really even going into September, now even going into October, November, like it's really hard to get a break from this heat. And on top of that, with heat often comes a lot of severe weather for a lot of reasons scientifically that I am not at liberty to explain to people, but it's true. And we have been seeing a lot more severe weather in these parts as well. I'm really not looking forward to this hurricane season. It'll be interesting to see what comes out of that. Not only that, but not just how bad it will be, but also how long it's going to last. So there's a lot of repercussions to this kind of heat. And I know we're gonna talk a little bit more about energy, so I'll pass it back to you before I go on.
I understood what you meant, but I love the way you worded it, that you're not at liberty to explain it. It sounds like you know, but you won't tell us.
I also heard that and I was like, I'm not a scientist, I'm not a meteorologist, so I'm not gonna go into the details. But it is kind of weird because there's a kind of heat, it's like a different kind of heat. I don't really know how to explain it, but it's like a very stagnant, stale heat that will kind of settle over the day. And those days you tend to get a really, really bad storm that night. It's like all the pressure, I don't know, but
well, the heat dome is a high pressure area, basically, like that. That is definitely true. But yeah, it is absolutely devastating, and yeah, it's just going to claim lives. People who are not going to have AC. We're going to see a bunch of people die this year. We did last year, the year before, the year before. All of this is obviously predictable. All of this is avoidable. It's not going to be avoided. Why are more people asking why? Why is it that in a country as rich as the United States, we routinely let people die from the heat, from the cold, and barely even talk about it? Why is that? We spend nearly $1 trillion on defense every year. This sort of news is a reminder that like AK-47s wielded by the Taliban are not the only thing potentially taking American lives. Why is it that we have money for that, but not money for this?
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/thedamagereport. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.